In Superflat mode, players need to start from villages, lava crafting nether portals, and strongholds. But what if all of these disappeared? Is it possible to defeat the Ender Dragon in a world without an end portal? The only existing blocks are dirt and bedrock. This is the challenge player Flaps attempts in this video. Beating Superflat mode without enabling structure generation. First, he decides to find some food. Because he is playing in hardcore mode, he must constantly keep his hunger bar full. But now the problem is, Flaps needs to find a way to reach the nether or the end. While gathering food, he quickly came up with an idea. To successfully proceed until the end, wandering traders are absolutely essential. But before finding the wandering trader, what Flaps needs to consider more is how to escape from terrifying hostile mobs when night falls. As is well known, mobs can spawn on every dirt block, and there are many of them. Looking at it this way is like watching The Walking Dead. Very terrifying. So Flaps must prevent this from happening. Then he suddenly remembered that creatures cannot spawn on bedrock. So he needs to mine a 100 × 100 area, all the way down to the bedrock layer. According to calculations, this will take about 14 hours, although it takes a long time. But there is no better alternative. It is just that annoying pillagers are inevitable during the process. They constantly harass players like flies. But fortunately, it is nothing to Flaps, who is seeing bigger scenes. It is just like being turned into a pincushion. So Flaps introduced an army of slimes. This way, monster spawns can be prevented, because they fill up the monster cap. If without them, directly mining all this dirt, Flaps probably wouldn't even survive the first night. But unfortunately, patrolling creatures do not count toward the creature limit. Therefore, the raiders still exist. Eventually, Flaps spent 16 hours clearing out a spacious area. Now let's build the walls, to prevent sneak attacks from slimes. Now, to obtain emeralds, Flaps needs armor, and the only way to get armor is by killing zombies and skeletons. So Flaps decided to build a small mob farm, to prevent mobs from spawning on top. He needs to place some wool carpets, but since the backpack doesn't have enough wool, he plans to borrow some from the sheep, believing the kind sheep will surely be willing to generously share their wool. Finally, we can start farming mobs. Now Flaps has a full set of armor, although it is not great, but this means Flaps can obtain emeralds, because he needs to trade emeralds with the wandering trader. Then he exited the game, and restarted in version 1.14. The reason Flaps did this was because in Snapshot 18W46, patrols were temporarily enhanced in the game. Our favorite pillagers would kill anything they saw. But more importantly, patrols would spawn vindicators. When vindicators are killed, there is a chance they drop some emeralds. Also in version 1.14, the patrols appeared more frequently. Now Flaps just needs to return to the area, then wait for a while. Soon Flaps spotted a target creature. From such a long distance, he thought he could sit here and shoot arrows directly. It actually seemed to work, but he was quickly discovered by the villagers. So Flaps kept shooting while backing away. Now he plans to try sneaking over to get the emeralds. Just picked one up. Other villagers ahead have spotted him. Seems he underestimated the difficulty of this challenge. Didn't expect these guys to be so clever. So Flaps had to try a different approach. My hand speed is really fast enough. Snatched their emeralds in the blink of an eye. Got taken away as well. Successfully obtained it. The composition looks similar. Well, believe and come. Now it is time to look for the wandering trader. Since Flaps only has 5 emeralds, he is not sure if he can exchange for a sapling. This is crucial, because only by obtaining the sapling can he go to the nether and the end. Hope everything goes well. Flaps has been waiting for about 20 hours now, but he hasn't seen any sign of the wandering trader. Finally found one, but it didn't have what he needed. However, Flaps believed that persistence pays off. After a few more hours, Flaps saw a wandering merchant being chased by zombies ahead. Normally he shouldn't get involved, but what if this guy happened to have a sapling he needed? So Flaps decided to take the risk anyway. He rushed to the wandering merchant as fast as possible. The next day arrived. Finally, a wandering trader has spawned again, and it is not far from Flaps. This time he successfully exchanged 5 emeralds for a sapling, obtained the target item. Can proceed to the next task now. Wood can be used to craft trapdoors. This is crucial for building a mob farm, and the mob farm allows players to collect iron from zombies more efficiently than previous designs. But the drop rate of iron ingots from zombies is less than 2.5%. Therefore, this may take a long time, probably blessed with incredible luck. Flaps soon collected enough iron ingots. Everyone knows there is no water in Superflat mode, and water is crucial for the later stages of the challenge. So if we use iron to make a cauldron, we can collect rainwater. This is the purpose of killing zombies, to collect iron ingots earlier. Now using a bucket, we can extract water. Using a bottle, you can fill it up. Thus an infinite water source is created. Now if Flaps wants to get armor when going to the end again, villagers are needed. But getting villagers into the Superflat world is almost impossible. The only way to do it is to find a zombie villager and a cow. Alright, get on the boat. Okay, that is too easy. Okay, I accept. Alright, now the villagers. Follow me. No, not you. He is using him as a shield. Okay, now right here. Yes, now the plan is half complete. For this to succeed, we need copper. And we need it right now. 3 copper ingots will allow us to obtain villagers. But we need it to be raining for this to work. By placing water in the top, we can turn the zombies into drones. They have a very small percentage chance of dropping the copper. That we're gonna need. 4. We got 4. Now Flaps needs to use the collected copper ingots to craft a lightning rod. Then spend 5 hours catching a group of piglets. Used lightning rods to turn them into zombie pigmen. Finally killed them to obtain enough gold ingots. Now need to turn zombie villagers into normal villagers. For this Flaps needs to do 2 things. First, the witch must throw a weakness potion. They only have a 25% chance of doing this. Then right-click the villager while holding a golden apple. Within the next 5 minutes, they will revert to a normal villager. Now that we have villagers, only one last thing to do before heading to the nether. Build an iron farm. The villagers sit in this small box. Iron golems spawn in water and are pushed to the lower platform. And this zombie will scare the villagers, causing them to spawn iron golems faster. Now start killing iron golems to get a large amount of iron ingots. Perseverance pays off. Finally, Flaps got a full set of iron armor. Now we enter one of the most crucial steps in the game. Arriving in the nether. This requires the use of lava. But since Flaps didn't enable structure generation, he cannot obtain lava from structures. And villagers and wandering traders don't sell lava either. So is the challenge going to end like this? Of course not. In Minecraft nothing is impossible. Flaps spent a whole day online without eating or drinking. Start looking for solutions. It actually managed to find one. Now what Flaps needs to do is break the game rules. Since the Superflat world type was introduced in Minecraft Snapshot 12W01. So what happens if you open a Superflat save before this version? Let's go in and take a look to find out. The game generated a normal world. This is because the game couldn't understand Superflat yet. It converted the chunk where the player was located into a normal chunk. There is also a major issue. Flaps cannot transfer items from its world to this world, or from this world to its world. So you might ask, if there is no way to bring lava back from this version to my world, why did Flaps even enter the Minecraft beta? This is because during testing, it discovered a major flaw in the game's core mechanics. By entering the nether, Flaps created a new dimension file. When it restored the save file to version 1.19, it lost all its items, but did not lose its position. Interestingly, due to version corruption, the game became somewhat glitchy as if it had crashed. But the nether portal still functioned normally. Now Flaps needs to figure out how to reach the end. Before that, it needs to gather some useful supplies, in case it dies immediately upon entering the end. For this purpose, it built a villager trading hall, then planted a bunch of potatoes to trade with villagers for emeralds. Went to the nether to collect some gravel. This will be very important later. Now Flaps has a full set of diamond armor. But before getting the final supplies, it still needs a few blaze rods. Then comes crafting an anvil, enchanting the bow. Only by obtaining powerful weapons can one have the confidence to venture into the end. Now Flaps is using beta 1.9 preview version 3.2. Loads saved content. This early version of the game does not have a Superflat mode, but it does have what Flaps needs. In the early versions, when the end portal was introduced to Minecraft, there was no way to find the portal. The function of Ender Eyes was not the same as it is today. To help players locate strongholds, Notch temporarily created giant glass towers to mark the locations. These might not look like much now, but they are indeed portal frames. If exploded with TNT, they can still drop as items. Now you might say, isn't it impossible to transfer items from this version to updated versions? Actually, there are still ways, but this requires going to the nether to achieve. First use the old F4 glitch to trick the game, then place the end portal frame into the chest. When Flaps saves and updates back to its version, the items in the chest remain unchanged. Now take the items, put on the armor, then ride your beloved donkey ready for an exciting moment. But the donkey cannot pass through the portal. Then wait here for its owner to return. Now, we will go to the end to challenge the Ender Dragon. Then we will go challenge it. There is only one course. I have completed it. Donkey. Donkey. Donkey.